I don't want with Sonic Rush. Yep, that is true. I know Sonic the Hedgehog games thrive on replayability, but if it doesn't give achievement from the first playthrough, then it is pointless to do that. I only could play one sound of Sonic Rush in one play session. I guess thankfully not only one act, and only if I manage to complete this sound. Otherwise, it takes multiple play sessions to complete just one sound, and then I don't also try to play the next sound. Maybe only to check it out. I'll try. Maybe I'll try to check it out, the next sound. Already from the second sound I didn't get enjoyment from this game. But before it is found for me, then more or less a boss game, I guess. Sonic Rush was developed by Sonic Team and Teams. I guess that's one of the reasons why the game isn't fun to me. And published by Sega, only for Nintendo DS. So how I was able to record and play it, then gameplay footage may not represent how actually the game is. And that might be the playing part. Another reason why it isn't fun for me. Because I didn't play into that way. Of its out way or on. By the way, it was realized at the same time as Shadow the Hedgehog, with which I had more fun. About the story. Well, there are two campaigns, and each have different premise, but I'll show only the overall premise by questing it, because of course I haven't even finished the Sonic campaign. Eggman had found a way to travel to a different dimension, and with it he obtained emeralds from that dimension. So emeralds, but with that those characters come from that dimension. One of which wants to get back soul emeralds, and other is antagonics to the character. But because there is a hole between dimensions or something wrong, that makes dimensions unstable, so then Sonic and maybe a new character needs to deal with it. And of course one of the new characters is Blaziken, who at first tries to deal with the situations on her own by getting back soul emeralds. And antagonist to her is... can I say it? I guess I won't say it mainly because of laziness and maybe it's spoilers. Then even saying it is Eggman variations is a spoiler itself. Well, I will intervene about the story, mainly because I didn't finish the game, because it isn't fun. I think it is basic story from what I can tell, but it is properly works for this game. Now about the gameplay. As you already saw from the footage, this game introduced the boost feature. Not what was in Sonic Advance, boosting after getting enough speed, but just by pressing a button. However, it isn't easy to fill it up. Only option to fill it up is by destroying enemies, doing tricks, either eating springs or ramps, or going through greens or getting item that restores the bar. There still is a spin dash, but each character has different movesets. Tricks mainly are also to raffle the bar, but also you can earn a score by doing them. And at least here and there you may need to use them to reach higher places. Mainly by doing an air dash upwards, so with that of course there is a homing attack, which works as an air dash if there are no enemies nearby. Also there is a rail grading. I mentioned rail grading here because although I will talk more about this later in why the game isn't a fun chapter. About the campaigns, of course you can play Sonic and Blaze campaigns. Blaze campaign only after it is unlocked, which is early in game. In Sonic campaigns, of course, there are special stages, which of course I did in a sprint, where you can get Chaos Emeralds. In Blaze campaign, because the story is centered around Soul Emeralds, then you get them by story progression. Of course, only in Blaze campaign. Finally, why the game isn't fun. Min attack. I'll start with that it isn't on the same button as a jump button. So at first I thought there wasn't an Min, but I found out doing. Speaking about buttons, for some reason there are two features, each registered on two buttons. Of course, each feature has two separate buttons. Like by facing button possibility like that. Anyways, back to the main attack. If an enemy is behind the character and wanting to air dash forward, the agent owns backwards to the enemy. Like that, I faced away from the enemy, so I didn't need to arm backwards. Speaking of enemies, even when you arm in on an enemy, you still can get damaged. Arming attack forget about that in previous rotations in the game, so yeah, wait. Okay. Why I wrote into these games they don't remember. I need to do some games with Omen attacks. Altered one. Okay, Omen attack forget better in previous Sonic games, which might include the games, but I'm not sure about it. Now about rails. I guess you can get them from anywhere, but if you jump even once, and even a little bit, then you can't get back on it. You go behind it. So with that you might catch and always jump into a bottomless pit. There is a bottomless pit in the first project, and with it, the first project is a way to instantly kill you. Maybe there is a bottomless pit in the first zone in Sonic campaign, but thankfully I didn't find it. And then in following zones you may run into a bottomless pit, and post isn't at fault. Already early in game there are segments that slow the game. And throughout this game was Galaxy Sonic Rush, next Sonic Snow. Examples are like waiting on slow platforms, destroying all enemies in locked room. Maybe it might be my fault, like how I play the game, but there is a input lag, like wanting to jump and pressing a button, nothing happens in game, and with it I might get unfair that. If you get a game over in an actor or project of the zone, then you will be needing to restart the zone from very beginning, from the first act. That's just to increase play time artificially. Well, sure, it isn't restarting all of the game, but for older games that might have been system limitations. Nintendo is a newer console than Game Boy Advance, so it should be possible to allow The player to select each ad even after a game over like Sonic Advance, except to it. In the same campaign, both fights get resolved, well with small differences, or just one small difference. So with my experience, I can't recommend this game. Maybe you can check it out for yourself. So I can drag the game in the first place dragged isn't fun to me. If I would get achievement from the first playthrough, then I wouldn't mind replaying the game. Or wouldn't mind getting game hours. Sure, some stuff are improved, but other stuff are downgraded. I can see that maybe I'll try it on an official archive, but with that money will go directly towards the second-hand seller, not game devs, publishers and the makers and owners, to see if it's a better experience if possible. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like the video, subscribe and comment. See you next time.